Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a flip through slash review of the Ancient Feminine Wisdom of Goddesses and Heroines deck. And yeah, I'm really excited for this. I have already unboxed it and opened it a few days ago because I couldn't wait. And I've been feeling kind of under the weather. I'm not feeling well today. I called out of work this morning. I just was not feeling well and I'm starting to feel a little bit better, so I thought we would get on here and unbox this together to try to take our mind off of things. So yes, I have looked through this deck, but it is so beautiful. I wanted to share it with you guys, and I feel like I have not had or seen a lot of people talk about this deck, so I wanted to get on here and show it to you guys who haven't heard of it like I hadn't. This is printed by US Games, and I personally haven't seen it on their website, but I wasn't really looking for it. I saw a YouTuber talking about this. I've only ever seen one person talk about it, and I found it on Amazon and it was less than $20. So it is readily accessible on Amazon. I don't know if you can get it off of US Game Systems anymore, but it's worth a try. So this is by Kay Steventon and Brian Clark, and this deck is just gorgeous. It's not like anything I've really seen before, and it does come in a tuck box, and tuck boxes aren't the best if you're going to be storing your deck in the box because they don't hold up over time. But something about tuck boxes to me make it feel more like ancient. It's kind of weird, but it makes it feel like an old deck that they would have 100, 200 years ago. That's just a personal thing for me. It just feels more like the original kind of divination decks that people would have. And I like that it is named a divination deck instead of an oracle deck. I don't know, it's just different. I like that. So it looks like down here it was printed in 2007 and 2018. So the original printing of this was quite old, and it includes 52 cards and an instruction booklet. And this is what the top looks like. It says printed in Italy. That's the side. This side says, "These beautifully illustrated cards reveal the ancient insights of the goddesses through the sacred art of divination. Let the goddesses bring you inspiration and guidance with their eternal feminine wisdom." So let's just get into this. I love this deck. So just a white plain tuck box. Again, I like the tuck box, but I don't know. We'll see how long it holds up for. This comes with a small little white booklet, and I'm not a big fan of little white booklets, but with this one, I mean, it's okay. It comes in a tuck box. You can't really have a whole big guidebook, and it is the same as a regular guidebook. I don't know, something about it being all paper, it just makes it seem a little bit flimsier and easier to ruin. But if you take care of your things, then you won't have an issue with that. So it has the table of contents here at the beginning, and then we get into the goddesses. And they're categorized here. So we have the first goddesses, Olympian goddesses. I do not know how to say that word. Those kinds of goddesses, guardian goddesses. And then we have the heroine's journey. So we have a few different cards for that. Oops. Lovers and partners. The power of the heroine, virtues of the heroine, and then in the back here we have reading the cards and some different kinds of spreads you can do. and journaling. So a good little guidebook for how small it is. You get everything that you need. I have not read the guidebook yet or read for any of the cards, so we will do that at the end of this video like we always do. So yeah, this deck is very interesting to me. So the back is very pretty. Up here it says past, present, and future in the smoke coming out of this bowl here. And then down here it just says 2007, 2018 US Games. And it is a smaller kind of oracle deck. The cardstock is decent. It's one of those cardstocks that's kind of glossy, but not really. It's a typical kind of US Games cardstock. It's good. It's not too thin, not too thick. I personally like it. If we take out a tarot card, they are bigger than a tarot card, as you can see, but they are quite a bit smaller than a normal oracle deck card. So just keep that in mind. I do like having some smaller oracle decks that are just easier to handle, and you can spread out more cards, and I really like smaller decks for that reason. I also like extremely large decks, so yeah, I feel like if you like a smaller deck, then you might want to look at this one. I think I took this out of order, so I apologize for that, but we're just going to go through the cards, and I'll do a musical flip through for this part. But what I really enjoy about this deck is that there are goddesses in here that I've really never heard of. I have a few goddess decks, probably less than 5, but I do have a few, and I feel like this one has a lot that I've really never heard of. And the reason that I have most of my goddess decks is to learn and to study. I have Goddess Guidance, I believe. That one has very like Disney-esque kind of illustrations in it, and what I do with that deck is I'll pull a card, I'll read the meaning in the guidebook, which is very it's not a lot of information, and then I'll Google that goddess and I'll learn more about them. So I feel like with this deck you definitely are gonna get some goddesses that you've never heard of if you're trying to learn more, or yeah, I don't know, it just feels more ancient. It feels really cool. So the deck has this white border around it with these little squigglies, curlies down here, and then it has the goddess up here and then what they stand for. And the artwork on this, I originally wasn't going to get this, but there's a card in here that just kept calling to me, this one. And I've never heard of this goddess before, and something about this illustration just really spoke to me. So we're going to flip through all of the cards, and then I will come back to you guys with some more commentary. All right, so that is all 52 cards, correct? Yes, 52. And some of you might have been looking at the cards and were recognizing all of the goddesses, and that's great. But I feel like for me as a beginner, you know, I've only kind of heard of what they teach us in school with the Greek goddesses. Obviously, I know a little bit more now because I've been studying and learning about it to try to make my practice better, but there's only a handful of goddesses in here that I know, like Hecate, yes, Persephone, yes, Circe, yes, this is a bad example. Nike, yeah, like I don't know about this goddess. I don't really know about this one. A lot of these goddesses I have never heard of, and so if you're kind of wanting to learn more goddesses, I would definitely pick this deck up for that reason. And then the artwork is just stunning. I love the white borders. I know some people don't, but I just feel like it adds this whole other kind of old Greek kind of feel to it. So we are going to shuffle and see what comes out. I'm going to cleanse the deck quickly so we can get a reading. I'm really interested to see how this reads as far as an oracle goes. They do shuffle very easily. They're very slippery. They do not stick. So Calypso is the one that flew out for us. And I do know a little bit about Calypso. I did read the Odyssey in high school, so I am familiar with Calypso. And her little message down here is lover, which makes sense. So we are going to read in the guidebook for lover. So this card is under the category of lovers and partners, which makes sense for Calypso since she's lover. So I was able to easily find the page with the table of contents. So you don't get much, but we're gonna see what it says in here. So Calypso sits at the entrance to the cave, forlornly staring at the vast expanse of sea that brought Odysseus to her, but also took him away. In front of the cave, the whirlpool sprays water in all four directions. We encounter Calypso when we are lost and need direction. While lonely and isolated, Calypso is also alluring and magical. Her island home represents where we are suspended, living, but not at home, loving, but not relating, essentially waiting for our lives to catch up with us. Calypso is the lover removed from the world who assists in rebuilding our lives. The card suggests you have experienced an important process of learning or a magical phase, but it is not destined to be an ongoing part of your life. Feminine wisdom. The feminine spirit guards the vortex at intersections in our lives. Waiting on the threshold of your experience is a guide who will help navigate the return journey to something you have left behind. Yeah, so they all have a feminine wisdom little bit at the end. I really like that. I love when guidebooks kind of explain what's going on in the picture. I just love that. It kind of puts you into the picture where they give you this description of the picture, which I love. So yeah, I really do like how it gives you a little bit of the folklore of Calypso. Not too much. It gives you the meaning, and then it gives you the feminine wisdom. I love that. And then obviously, if you wanted to, you can put this up, display it, look more up about Calypso, research about Calypso, and really get the full story of Calypso so that you're better understood and acquainted with her. And I feel like that is what I'm going to use the deck for. And then once you know everything about the goddess, it'll be easier for you to read with this deck. you'll just be able to get the Calypso card out and be like, okay, well, this is how I can relate it to you. Echo, unrequited love. Galatea, triangle. So if you just like reading the little guide here, the little the meaning, I mean already here we're seeing like, okay, is there some kind of a love triangle here? Like that's what I would get right off the bat from just these 3 cards. So you don't necessarily have to know about the goddess to kind of get like a oracle reading out of these cards, but I feel like personally for me, I want to learn more about these goddesses because I don't really know anything about these 2 over here. And then I will really be able to add a whole nother dimension to readings just with this deck. Now, I feel like it would be good to pair with a tarot deck. I really like the meanings that are portrayed in this deck. There's a lot of variety, and with just the key, there's not a big old explanation at the bottom. It's just like a little keyword word or a little just one word, you know, and so that really helps, I feel like, add to a reading, just having that extra little keyword. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the Ancient Feminine Wisdom of Goddesses and Heroines deck. I love this deck. I'm so excited to work with it. I feel like it reads very well already and I've just kind of been playing around with it with you guys on camera, but I feel like, I don't know, the energy of this deck is very different and it's very straightforward and it has that divination deck kind of a feel. And those of you who have like fortune telling decks or even like Lenormand decks, that's what I'm getting out of this deck, is a very like straightforward kind of fortune telling vibe from it, where you can ask a question and you kind of get like a straightforward answer. It doesn't beat around the bush. So that was my little flip through of this deck. Let me know if there's any decks that you guys want me to review or look at next. I would be happy to. But that is all I have for you guys today. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.